Talk about patience and impatience. I just asked Dean if I could go cruising, and he said about 4 or 5 minutes. I look out and can't help myself but to think of this endless book of chapters that could be filled by all the co-authors in this one church, and how many more there are who had an impactful connection with Jackie all over the world. But I think we all know that mere words could never adequately be able to express that total sense of shock and abrupt, almost disbelief, and still the devastating grief that we are attempting to process when we all heard at that very moment of the terrible tragedy that took Jackie and Zach and Emma from us far, far, far too soon. But I know that words can surely describe unanimously that Indiana, indeed America, lost one of our finest. And the two that surrounded her, Zach and Emma, that devoted their lives to making sure that she could carry out her mission. When people from afar think about what makes Indiana so strong, they might reflexively go to our steel or our limestone. I think about Jackie, and I think about Jackie's steel spine, and I think about what's already been alluded to, that her word was always carved in stone. I think about her still visible footsteps that mapped out this monumental earthly journey that she was on, and now on her heavenly one. And so even as the dark clouds of mourning hover over us, they cannot ever obscure the bright beacon of light and hope that Jackie radiated as she walked into that room, and people gravitated toward her. It felt as if the room tilted in Jackie's direction. People wanted to hear what she had to say. She had a lot of good news to always share. And like I suspect everyone that is filling these seats in this hall would say, Janet and I feel like we're the blessed ones for knowing Jackie as a friend. From way back in the early days, when we were all going through the ups and downs, and I'm not talking about the marble stairs in the State House, but various chapters when the kitchen got hot, there was Jackie standing strong, all the way to the halls of Congress, more marble steps. The one thing about Jackie was her step was always sure. Her step was always forward. She was optimistic and enthusiastic and, yes, energetic beyond the energy that I sometimes can summon. Many have described her as this force of nature, this positive influence. Father Soren would be proud. He spoke of this. Just as she was proud to serve her neighbors and her nation here in northern Indiana, but it extended far beyond, again around the world. This terrain that she was so proud of. I think every conversation we ever had involved RVs, veterans, small business, her neighbors, what was going on in the district. She was tethered to her home. And yes, she could talk. She could bring it, quite frankly. And she did. Whether you agreed or not. But the thing about Jackie was she walked the walk. She was that patriot. Dare I say, meaning no offense to anyone, no one loved this country more than Jackie. Again, whether it was standing up for law enforcement or our veterans or those who were hungry or homeless, just needed a lift. I think that's what stays with me as I process is this combination of passion and compassion that set her apart, that gained the respect from so many. It was her ability to get things done on her journey. She was deeply loyal to the cause, to the higher meaning, to his wisdom. I think her love for what she did, not only was it effusive, but her love for her vocation was only surpassed, and this came shining through in every conversation. It's her love for Dean and her family. And I just ask that God's touch bless and strengthen you all. And that you know that we will be there for you, not just today, but every day that follows. And on behalf of this great state, that we know of not just this loss, but that we celebrate our gain, that we revel in this hope, that we find solace and joy in the depths of our gratitude for the impact that she had on us. And while her mission is complete here, it carries on above. It is impossible on one day to quantify what this Lady Liberty, what this true Hoosier torchbearer, this good and faithful servant accomplished before she entered eternity and met her Maker's smiling returned face. Her legacy will endure, and her beacon of hope will continue to burn bright, because we will make sure of it and carry on Jackie's torch. God bless.